DevOps is one of the hottest buzzwords in technology today, but it's not just a fad. It's when the operations and development teams collaborate to build a product quicker and more effectively. In the last few years, the need for DevOps engineers has increased significantly. Large corporations such as Google, Facebook, and Amazon frequently have numerous vacancies for DevOps engineers. But the employment scenario is harsh, and the questions posed in interviews for DevOps engineers are rather tough. General DevOps interview questions. 1. What do you know about DevOps? Your response should be simple and straightforward. Begin by describing how DevOps is gaining prominence in the IT industry. Describe how it unites the development and operations teams to accelerate the release of software with less error. 2. How does DevOps differ from Agile methodology? DevOps is a culture where the operations and development teams work together. This assists in creating, testing, integrating, deploying, and monitoring software on an ongoing basis during the product's life. 3. What are some of the most used DevOps tools? Some of the most widely used DevOps tools are Selenium, Puppet, Chef, Git. What are the various stages in DevOps? The various stages of the DevOps process are: plan. Beforehand, you need to have a plan for what kind of application you wish to develop. You should know how the development process works. Code. The user's needs are used to develop the application. Build. During this step, you compile all the code developed in the initial steps to develop the application. 5. Name a few of the primary advantages of DevOps. The primary advantages of DevOps include technical benefits, continuous delivery of software, business benefits, delivery of new features more rapidly, stable operation environments. How will you handle a project which has to implement DevOps? To apply DevOps to a project, you can use the following typical steps. Stage 1. Spend 2 to 3 weeks first evaluating the existing process and infrastructure. This is done to identify areas of improvement so that the team can have a clear plan for the DevOps process. Stage 2. Then, develop a proof of concept, POC. After it's approved, the team can begin the actual implementation and start adhering to the project plan. Stage 3. Lastly, the project is now ready for DevOps. This involves the utilization of version control, integration, testing, deployment, delivery, and monitoring, with each step done carefully. By adhering to these steps, the project can effectively adopt DevOps. 7. What is the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? Objective: make sure that the software is always deployable. Process: code changes are built and tested automatically, and then put into a staging or pre-production environment. But deployment to production is still a manual step that needs approval or a team decision. Main feature: emphasis is placed on ensuring that the code is always deployable, but deployment itself is a gated step that occurs only when the team decides. 8. What does configuration management do in DevOps? Configuration management assists in keeping many systems in check and modifying them at the same time. It ensures all the computer systems are configured in a similar manner, which assists in controlling the IT infrastructure. It also assists in monitoring and maintaining numerous servers while ensuring everything functions properly in the entire system. 9. In what way does continuous monitoring assist in ensuring the system operates smoothly? Continuous monitoring is like having a surveillance camera for your entire computer system. It keeps a close eye on everything and lets you know if anything goes amiss, such as if the system is slow, if something has a bug, or if someone attempts to breach. This is how it keeps the system intact. 1. Watches over everything. Similarly, as a security camera can display to you whether something is amiss, ongoing monitoring monitors how effectively the system is functioning, so you can tell whether there's an issue. 2. Catches issues early. When something begins to go awry, such as a component slowing down or malfunctioning, monitoring will let you know immediately. This allows the issues to be addressed before they become major issues. 10. What is the role of AWS in DevOps? AWS has a significant role to play in DevOps by providing flexible services, offers pre-configured services without requiring additional setup. Designed for scale, you can run one computer or thousands with AWS. 11. Identify 3 crucial DevOps KPIs, key performance indicators. 3 crucial KPIs are: failure recovery time, how long does it take to repair a break when something has gone wrong. Frequency of deployments, how frequent updates or alterations are applied. Failed deployment percentage, the ratio of updates which fail to do what is hoped. 12. What is infrastructure as code, IAC, in configuration management? IAC refers to the use of code to regulate the setup and administration of systems, rather than manually doing it. This is to say, writing code to manage things like deployments and setups. Managing servers using files that machines can understand, instead of working with physical equipment. 13. How is IAC applied to AWS? Prior to IAC, individuals would write commands on files and test them prior to using them. However, with IAC on AWS, developers are able to write, test, and manage servers and services in a simpler manner using readable formats such as JSON or YAML. 14. Why is DevOps so crucial nowadays? DevOps has gained more prominence because large corporations like Netflix and Facebook are employing it in order to accelerate the way they deploy apps and updates. For instance, DevOps enables Facebook to rapidly update and correct bugs in their apps without ruining the user experience for their 2 billion users. 15. Define the difference between a centralized and distributed version control system, VCS. Centralized version control system, CVCS. There are all versions of files stored on a single central server. Developers do not possess a copy of all the project files in their individual computers. Distributed version control system, DVCS. Each developer possesses a complete copy of the full project, including all versions of files, on his own system. Developers can still work even when the central server is unavailable since they have their own copies. Conclusion: DevOps is an essential aspect of contemporary software development and IT operations that allows for quicker and more effective delivery of products while maintaining higher quality.